We all have a version of ourselves that we cling to, a self we think we must protect, preserve, or live up to. But what if this version is not the true one? What if the person you think you are is a shadow of your potential, a mere echo of a deeper truth waiting to emerge? The first step in growth is realizing that the weak version of yourself is not the person you are, but rather a construction. To evolve, you must first kill that version of yourself. Not in a literal sense, of course, but symbolically. You must dismantle the illusions that have defined who you are. You must let go of the limiting stories you tell yourself about your capabilities, your worth, and your potential. You must face the uncomfortable truth that the version of yourself you've been nurturing might not be the one you were meant to become. The weak version of you is terrified of change, terrified of the unknown, terrified of stepping into the vast potential that lies dormant within you. It clings to comfort, to the familiar, and above all, to fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making mistakes. But growth, real growth, only happens when you step beyond these fears. It happens when you dare to question the identity you've created for yourself and free yourself from its grasp. You must cultivate the courage to transcend your current limitations. Understand that the person you've always been is not a fixed point. It is a river, constantly flowing and changing. To remain stagnant is to deny your true nature. So begin by questioning everything. Question the assumptions you've held about yourself. Ask, but here's the beautiful part. As you let go, you create space. And when you truly shed that old self, you will no longer feel the burden of struggle. The battles you once fought against your weaknesses will no longer exist. You will simply become who you were always meant to be, not bound by self-imposed limits, but freed by the vastness of your own potential. So I ask you, in the simplest terms, this identity is built over time, influenced by experiences, societal expectations, and the judgments of others. It becomes a mold, a set of labels, defining our actions, our dreams, and our boundaries. But what if the story you've been telling yourself is not the full truth? What if the person you think you are is just a limited version, a temporary construction shaped by external forces? The first step towards growth is challenging this self-identity, questioning the beliefs you've held about yourself for so long. We become so attached to this image of who we are that it feels like an undeniable truth. We often mistake it for the core of our being, failing to realize that it's just a reflection, a transient form that can change. We might define ourselves by our past failures, our perceived shortcomings, or the labels others have imposed on us. These labels can be powerful, shaping how we see the world and how we believe the world sees us. But by accepting these limitations as permanent, we trap ourselves in a narrow understanding of what is possible. To grow, you must ask yourself tough questions. Are these labels truly who I am, or are they simply stories I've been told? Why do I let my past define my present? Why do I keep holding on to beliefs that limit my potential? By questioning your identity, you begin to unravel the assumptions that have confined you. You begin to understand that your true self is not static or defined by any one moment, choice, or label. It is a fluid, evolving process that is constantly in motion. This process of questioning isn't about rejecting your past or denying the experiences that have shaped you. It's about understanding that you are not limited by them. It's about recognizing that the story of who you are can change at any moment, that you have the power to rewrite it. By challenging your self-identity, you strip away the layers of false beliefs and start to uncover a deeper, more authentic version of yourself. This version is not bound by what others think or what you think of yourself. It is free to evolve and grow in new and unexpected ways. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort. Our natural tendency is to avoid situations that challenge us, to stay within the boundaries of what feels safe and familiar. The idea of pushing beyond what we know, venturing into the unknown, is intimidating. But it is precisely in these moments of unease that true growth occurs. Embracing discomfort is not about seeking pain or struggle for its own sake. It is about understanding that the unfamiliar is where our potential lies, and that only by stepping into it can we tap into the deeper parts of ourselves. When we remain in our comfort zones, we are essentially avoiding the very experiences that would allow us to evolve. It's easy to get stuck in routines, relying on familiar patterns of behavior because they don't require much effort or risk. But by staying within these boundaries, we prevent ourselves from discovering new strengths, capabilities, and perspectives. The discomfort we experience when stepping into the unknown is a signal not of danger, but of opportunity. It's the feeling that something greater is waiting on the other side of fear, that change is possible if we are willing to face it head on. True growth requires us to challenge our limitations, and these limitations are often rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But what if failure isn't something to fear, but rather a necessary step in the learning process? What if judgment is not a reflection of our worth, but a sign that we are pushing boundaries and breaking through self-imposed constraints? Every moment of discomfort presents a chance to redefine ourselves, to test our capacity for resilience, and to cultivate a deeper understanding of who we can become. When you embrace discomfort, you are embracing change itself. You are choosing to stretch beyond what you know, to step into the realm of possibility, where you can create new experiences, new strengths, and new achievements. You start to realize that discomfort is not a barrier to your growth, but a signpost pointing you towards it. You become more capable of handling challenges, and in doing so, you find that your comfort zone expands naturally. The more you lean into discomfort, the more you develop the skills and mindset needed to face whatever comes your way, knowing that growth is always on the other side of fear. Limiting beliefs are powerful forces that can confine you to a narrow view of what is possible. These beliefs often stem from past experiences, societal influences, or the opinions of others. They are like invisible chains, restricting your actions and keeping you from fully embracing your potential. These beliefs might tell you that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, or that success is only for certain people. They become so ingrained in your thinking that they start to feel like truths, even though they are nothing more than mental constructs. The challenge is to recognize them for what they are and begin to dismantle them, one by one. When you hold on to limiting beliefs, you create an invisible barrier between yourself and your potential. For example, you might believe that you're not talented enough to pursue your dreams, or that you'll never be able to achieve the success you desire because others are more capable or experienced. These beliefs may have been formed through early experiences, perhaps a failure or a criticism that stung deeply. But just because they were born out of past events doesn't mean they have to dictate your future. The truth is, you have the power to challenge these beliefs and rewrite the story of who you are. The first step in letting go of limiting beliefs is to become aware of them. Start noticing the thoughts that hold you back. What are the things you tell yourself when faced with a challenge or a new opportunity? Are you quick to assume failure, or do you doubt your abilities before you even try? Recognizing these patterns is crucial because awareness is the key to transformation. Once you see these beliefs for what they are, you can begin to question their validity. Are they based on objective facts? Or are they simply based on your fears and insecurities? Next, you must replace these limiting beliefs with more empowering ones. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, replace that thought with, I have the ability to learn and grow. Instead of believing that failure is a reflection of your worth, embrace it as a stepping stone towards success. When you start to shift your thinking, you begin to create a new mental landscape. One where possibilities are endless and where your true potential can unfold. The more you challenge and replace your limiting beliefs, the more you free yourself from the mental chains that have held you back, and the more you align with the truth of what you are truly capable of. Your past is not your future. Too often we allow our history to dictate our present and future. The experiences, mistakes, and setbacks of the past can feel like heavy burdens that prevent us from moving forward. We tell ourselves that because we've failed before, we will fail again, or that because we have struggled in certain areas, those struggles will define us forever. But this line of thinking traps us in a cycle, one that keeps us tethered to an identity shaped by what we've already been through, rather than what we can become. The truth is, the past is only a part of your story, not the entirety of it. It's easy to look at past failures and see them as proof of our limitations. When things don't go as planned, we might feel like we're stuck in a pattern, doomed to repeat our mistakes. But failure is not a sign of permanent inability. It is simply feedback. It is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to try again with greater wisdom. Yet, if you remain fixated on your past mistakes, you risk carrying that baggage forward and preventing yourself from embracing new possibilities. You may start to believe that the person who failed before is the same person who will fail again. But in doing so, you ignore the potential for change and growth. Letting go of the past means understanding that who you were yesterday does not have to define who you are today. You are not bound by the circumstances that once constrained you. Every day is a new opportunity to reinvent yourself. to make different choices, and to embrace new possibilities. Your experiences may have shaped you, but they do not have to control your future. The person you are becoming is not limited by the mistakes or setbacks of the past. To transcend your past, you must release the grip that it has on your identity. Stop defining yourself by what you've gone through, and start seeing yourself as someone capable of change, growth, and reinvention. This requires the courage to forgive yourself, to let go of the guilt, regret, and shame that may have accumulated over time. When you release those emotions, you open up space for new growth. You free yourself to make new decisions, take new risks, and embrace the unknown. The person you are today is a far more powerful and capable version of yourself than the one defined by the past. When you begin to shed old versions of yourself, you create space for something new, something more aligned with your true potential. Growth isn't just about adding new things to your life or accumulating more knowledge and experience. It's also about removing what no longer serves you. This process of shedding can be uncomfortable because it often involves letting go of the parts of yourself that have become familiar, even if they are limiting or outdated. However, this shedding is necessary if you are to make room for new opportunities, new ideas, and new aspects of yourself that you have yet to discover. The space you create through letting go is not just physical, but mental and emotional as well. By releasing old habits, outdated beliefs, and limiting self-concepts, you open up the possibility for new thoughts and perspectives to enter. For example, when you stop holding on to past failures or negative self-emotions, you allow yourself the freedom to pursue new paths without the weight of old expectations dragging you down. You begin to see yourself through a different lens, one that is not clouded by fear, doubt, or the shadows of past experiences. One that is not clouded by fear, doubt, or the shadows of past experiences. This process of letting go is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey. As you continue to evolve, there will always be new things to release, new areas of your life that need to be redefined or realigned. But with each step, you begin to notice that your life becomes lighter, more fluid, and more aligned with your true self. You start to feel more connected to your deeper desires and purpose. And the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to dissolve. The space you've created allows for deeper clarity, new insights, and greater energy to flow through you. By creating space in your life, you not only make room for new opportunities, but also for personal transformation. The act of letting go becomes a way of clearing out the mental clutter and emotional baggage that can hold you back from reaching your highest potential. As you continue to shed what no longer serves you, you become more attuned to your intuition, more focused on what truly matters, and more open to the possibilities that life offers. Living authentically is about being true to who you are at your core, without letting the expectations, judgments, or influences of others dictate your choices and actions. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to meet the standards set by society or by those around you. We often mold ourselves into versions that we think will be accepted or praised. But in doing so, we disconnect from our true selves. When you live authentically, you embrace your individuality, your passions, your strengths, and even your flaws, without the fear of rejection or criticism. Being authentic means embracing vulnerability. It means showing up as you truly are, without pretense, even when it feels uncomfortable. Society teaches us to hide our weaknesses, to put on a mask, to be something we're not in order to fit in. But this only creates a dissonance between the person we project and the person we truly are. The longer we maintain this facade, the more we lose touch with our authentic self. Living authentically requires us to break free from these societal pressures and embrace the truth of who we are, regardless of whether or not others approve. Living authentically also requires courage. It takes courage to make decisions that align with your true values and desires, even if they go against the grain of what others expect of you. It's about choosing paths that resonate with your inner truth, even if those paths are less traveled or not immediately understood by others. This doesn't mean acting impulsively or without thought, but rather staying true to your values and what feels right in your heart. When you live in alignment with your authentic self, you stop compromising for the sake of external approval and instead create a life that is in harmony with your deepest desire. When you live authentically, you also become more resilient. You stop seeking external validation because you know that your worth isn't determined by others. This internal sense of validation gives you the strength to face challenges and setbacks with confidence, knowing that you are true to yourself, no matter the circumstances. It also allows you to attract the right people and opportunities into your life, those who resonate with the real you, rather than a version you've created to please others. In living authentically, you cultivate a life of integrity, purpose, and true connection with the world around you. In conclusion, the journey toward growth and transformation is not an easy one, but it is a necessary one. It starts with the recognition that the version of ourselves we cling to may not be the true version, but merely a limited reflection shaped by past experiences, fears, and external expectations. To evolve, we must challenge these illusions, step beyond the comfort of the familiar, and embrace the discomfort that growth demands. As we dismantle our limiting beliefs and release the grip of our past, we create space for new possibilities to emerge. When we shed the old layers, we make room for new opportunities, new perspectives, and a new version of ourselves that is more aligned with our true potential. We must learn to live authentically, free from the judgments and expectations of others, and embrace the courage it takes to be unapologetically ourselves. The process of transformation is ongoing and requires constant effort, awareness, and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves us. So constantly, but through this process, we discover that we are not limited by our past, our fears, or the boundaries we once placed on ourselves. We find strength in embracing discomfort, freedom in releasing old identities, and resilience in staying true to who we are. And when we live authentically, we not only unlock our own potential, but we also create the opportunity to inspire and connect with others on a deeper level. The journey to kill the weak version of ourselves is not about destruction, but about liberation. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of self-doubt and fear and stepping into a life where we are truly alive, fully present, and aligned with the vast potential that resides within us. So let go of what is holding you back. Embrace the discomfort of change and allow yourself to evolve into the person you are truly meant to be.